Bit dramatic, don't you think? All that happened was my mouse broke, so I bought a new one. Hey everybody, welcome to the middle of nowhere, and the second episode of Tech I Love. If you missed the first episode where I talked about the 𝐓𝐞𝐜𝐻𝐿 GPS600 gaming headphones, I put a link to that video in the description. Today's episode concerns a certain peripheral from a certain company and is one I've used for years in its various incarnations, be it the G5, G502, G502 Spectrum, and the G502 Hero. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, I'm talking about the famous series of mice from Logitech. Unfortunately, my G502 Spectrum kicked the bucket when the left mouse button seemingly broke in half. I think maybe I pushed it hard one too many times while playing the Elder Scrolls Online and PvPing in Cyrodiil. Since I couldn't find a way to cheaply replace the part, I opted to replace the whole mouse instead. Today, I want to talk about why I love the G502 series of mice. While not an ambidextrous mouse, the G502 fits really well in my right hand. I don't have the largest of hands, so I can comfortably rest either my whole hand on the mouse or use like a hybrid claw grip. Overall, the G502 is a great fit and I find it super comfortable to use over long periods of time. Another great feature I like is being able to adjust the G502's weight should you find it too light. By default, the mouse weighs 121 grams or 4.3 ounces, and you can add up to 18 grams of additional weight by using any of the 5 included 3.6 gram weights. Some people like a light mouse, others like a paperweight in their hand. I definitely like a mouse with some heft, so I use all 5 weights. To add the weights, simply remove the bottom cover that is held on by magnets, then insert the angular weights. Speaking of the bottom cover, it's probably one of the only things I find problematic with the G502. Why? Because several times now I have been in a fervent gaming session and I somehow move my hand in such a way that I partially knock the cover off. And this ends up obscuring the sensor, which prevents me from moving my game camera or really anything in which a mouse is required. Really though, it doesn't happen too frequently and it's probably the only thing I feel could be improved upon for this product. As far as finish goes, the G502 is smooth where you want it, like where your palm would rest, and textured or rubbery where you need it, like where your thumb and ring and pinky fingers rest. The cable attached to the mouse is braided and plenty long, measuring 7 feet or 2.1 meters. However, some might find the cable a tad stiff. It's not removable either, which some also might find this a hindrance. The G502 is also customizable and programmable. While the original G502 only had a blue light, both the Spectrum and the Hero have RGB, and you can control the lighting within the G-Hub app. Here you can change the light color, implement some effects like breathing or color shift, or even turn the lighting off. There are 12 buttons in all, 11 of which are fully programmable. Your main left and right buttons are responsive and also nice and clicky, with a higher pitched sound. And the scroll wheel button has a deeper timbre to it. The middle mouse button is also not overly sensitive, so you don't have to worry about accidentally activating it. You can also adjust the Dpi speed on the fly with the push of a button. If you don't know, the Dpi speed is how quick your mouse pointer moves across the screen. Speeds start at the glacially slow pace of 100 Dpi and can go all the way up to 25,600 Dpi, which is akin to ludicrous speed. And then we all know you never go ludicrous speed, otherwise you might go full plaid.
What the hell was that? Spaceball 1. They've gone to plaid.
Honestly though, I don't know why anyone would want to go to either side of the DPI range. I find a DPI of 2400 to 3000 to be great for my needs. It's fast enough to zoom across the screen or move the camera in a game quickly, while still being precise enough for me to be able to use the lasso tool in GIMP without issue. Any slower is too slow, and if I go faster than 3200, I start to lose track of the pointer. I also disable the Dpi speed up and down buttons so I don't accidentally change things. I could remap these buttons to do something more productive for me, but I haven't. If you're into FPS games and need to slow things down so you can get a sweet headshot in with a sniper rifle, there's a sniper button which slows the DPI to the lowest speed you've designated. Another customizable feature is profiles. You can stick with the default profile, use one specific to a program or game detected by Logitech's G-Hub software, or create and save your own. You can save these profiles either to the software installed on your computer or to the mouse directly. The latter option is great as it lets you take the profile with you should you want to bring the mouse to a friend's house or to work. If you're really savvy, you can also program each button to do a task of your choosing, and you have the ability to set up macros to execute multiple actions by pushing just one button. I'll admit it, I don't really use most of these features. I stick to one Dpi speed and have disabled the buttons changing the speed as I've accidentally hit them in the past, resulting in me getting killed in a game because my in-game camera all of a sudden moved too slow or way too fast. I've never set up macros, and the only real extra button I use is one of the side ones I've mapped to push to talk in Discord. I know this means I'm not using the mouse to its full potential compared to some hardcore users, but that's okay by me. Now let's get to the crux of the conversation of why I love the G502 series of mice. What feature or features has made me forsake all other mice and has me so enthralled over the years that when I need a new one, I just buy the latest iteration of the G502. You'll probably laugh at me, but it's this. Right here, the scroll lock button. At a click, I can let loose the scroll wheel and fly through long documents or web pages. Really though, the main reason I love this feature so much is the impact it has had, reducing the pain I feel when using a scroll wheel for any duration of time. See, told you you'd laugh. I've been using computers pretty much since I was 6, and the majority of that time I've been using them with a mouse that has had a scroll wheel in some form or another. Well, your standard wheel tends to have a click as you rotate it. This click causes a vibration, and over time that vibration has caused the knuckles, at least for those fingers I use the scroll wheel for, to feel discomfort and even pain. Using the scroll wheel button mitigates that because activating it removes the click and the vibration. It's a wonderful feature I wish other mice makers could implement. Unfortunately, they can't. Why? Logitech owns the patent, baby. This means I'm somewhat stuck with Logitech unless I find a mouse with a smooth scroll wheel action. It doesn't have to coast freely like the G502 and other Logitech mice that employed this feature, but if it has zero vibrations as I scroll, then I'd be more apt to try it. So if you know of any mice like that, let me know in the comments down below. Having said that, I really see no reason to move away from the G502 series, unless Logitech somehow improves upon it with a new mouse that has a completely different model number. The G502 fits in my hand nicely and is comfortable. It's super customizable, and it has that amazing free scroll wheel button. Finally, it's very affordable at only $39.99, with some variations, mostly cosmetic, increasing the price up to $79.99. All of these things combine to make the Logitech G502 series of mice tech I love. And that's all I have to say about the G502 series of mice from Logitech. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like button if you liked the video or at least found it helpful. Feel free to share any questions or comments you have down below. And don't forget to definitely share some recommendations for mice that you really prefer. Show your support for the channel by clicking subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification icon so you don't miss out on any future content. And hey, while you're here, stick around and check out some of the other videos I've made. I'm Seth, and I'll see you next time in the middle of nowhere.